In this video, we're going to talk about praying to God through an active participation in His work of redemption. When the Son of God comes in glory, He's going to say to each of us, "When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was hungry, you fed me. And when I was alone, you came to visit me." And we will say, "Lord, when did we do these things for you?" And He'll say to us, "Whenever you did it for the least brother or sister, that's when you did it for me." Now, I like that very much. But I also like what it doesn't say. And what it doesn't say is this: to the least brother or sister, the Son of God in glory will say to them, "When you were naked, I clothed you. And when you were hungry, I fed you. And when you were thirsty, I gave you something to drink. And when you were alone, I came to comfort you." And the least brother or sister will say to the Son of God in glory, "Lord, when did you do these things for me?" And He will say, "When a brother or sister did that for you, that's when I did that for you." Think of the times you've perhaps received a gift from a spouse, a child, a parent, a neighbor, a friend. God not only loves it when we share His love with others, but He also loves it when we receive His love from others. After all, grass cannot grow without first receiving the rain. Participating in God's work sometimes means allowing that work to happen in us. That is, being receptive to His gift. Have you ever received a gift from someone, and perhaps you didn't realize until a few days later, perhaps a few years later, the value of that gift? Perhaps it was engraved. Perhaps the gift giver spent a lot of money on it. Perhaps the gift giver gave a pearl of great price, perhaps everything he or she had, just to give you that gift. More often than we realize, God's work is like that. We don't quite see the value of it until it's already happened. In a previous video, we discussed that sometimes when we pray to God and it just doesn't seem like God is listening to us, it's a good practice to be still and simply know that God is God. What I like to do in those moments is not necessarily lie flat on my back and look up at the ceiling and wait for some theophany to happen. Sometimes being still means being with God through an extraordinary behavior. By an extraordinary behavior, I don't mean leaping tall buildings in a single bound or running faster than a speeding locomotive. An example of an extraordinary behavior would be perhaps keeping a daily gratitude journal. Do you keep one? If not, then that would be an extraordinary behavior. This is a practice that I try to keep up every day. I write down the good things that happen to me throughout the course of a day. They can be simple things, such as someone opening a door for me, or perhaps letting me pass in traffic, or perhaps making a great sacrifice for me. The practice of keeping a daily gratitude journal is especially important on difficult days. Days when we've perhaps been fired, been yelled at, been rejected, perhaps even been betrayed by a best friend. If we have the intent of writing down all the good things that happened to us throughout the course of a day, no matter how difficult that day was, God will show us that when we were hungry for love, He fed us. When we were thirsty for friendship, He let us drink from the cup of salvation. When our needs were naked, God clothed us. When we were alone, sick at heart, trapped in the prison of our minds, God came to us because Emmanuel, He is with us. Perhaps in our daily gratitude journal, we will ask, "My King, when did you do all these things for me? Feed me, slake my thirst, clothe me, come to me." And in our journal, in our gratitude, between the lines of our words, He will say to us, "When the least brother or sister did that for you, that's when I did that for you." I would like to talk with you more about how actively participating in God's work can be as prayerful as recognizing His work in our lives. But let's take a break before we take this a step further. While this video briefly discussed how God can enter into an intimate relationship with us, the next video will discuss how we can participate in an intimate communion with God. So please subscribe to this channel to view the next video soon. Pray for me as I pray for you.